This is Joss Marshall interviewing Michael Volchik. The date is the 19th of September 2017, and we're at Michael's home in Erdington. Michael was born in 1995 in Kielce in Poland, and he migrated to the UK in 2004. So, firstly, Michael, could you just tell us a bit about your family history?
Uh, what would you like to know more specifically about family?
Just what you know about your family back in Poland, if they came from anywhere else that you know that they may have gone to, any occupations that went through the family, any memories at all, anything that you know about your kind of extended family.
I've had a lack of contact with my biological father. My mom, always been there. Uh, my stepdad, Andrew, who's playing accordion, he's a musician. Always practicing as far as I remember, to the young memories. My nan, there was my nan, which passed away now. Like I said before, she had a good heart, protecting us from all the bad, and my grandad, who's been always shouting, moaning, and never liked things. And normally I was just too busy with my friends.
What did your grandparents do in Poland? Do you remember, you know?
I do not remember. I was too small.
Okay, could you tell us a bit more about your dad playing the accordion then?
Like I say, as far as I remember, he had the instrument with him. Um, Never been able to play, didn't had the lessons, school, or nothing like that. It was just interest in it. Um, Came a passion.
And what does he do with it now? Does he play?
He has a band. He's in the band. He does concerts, plays in the pubs, and all sorts of stuff.
Okay, so what can you tell me about where you were born?
Town name, like you said, Kielce. Świętokrzyskie region. Yeah. Back in the day, it was like old, rough. How can I explain it? Ghetto looking, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cause of the time, politics. How can I explain it? Time moving on, the town is rebuilding itself. So too many changes that I forgot because they're not there no more. Since the last time I went there, too many things have changed. Constantly being rebuilded and
What was it like when you lived there?
quiet and not quiet, peaceful and not peaceful. Really, like I said, I was with my friends. We was trying to do our own stuff. Winter time, throwing snowballs at people, fireworks, and it's not like throwing them up, but kind of aiming them at the building or certain places. These kind of silly jokes, and you know what I mean.
Could you tell me about the community that there was there in Kielce?
People not right now. People are not really nice or happy towards each other. Maybe because it's what's happening inside of the country. But before, it seemed, maybe in my eyes, I was just young, but it seemed normal. People talking to each other, communicating like the neighbors, a few blocks, people that you shouldn't actually know and you do know because the parents knows each other, and that makes you know the people. Like I said about my friend, um, only had that one particular person in my life when I was a kid. Um, the only person to be hanging around with, nobody liked me, so it was just that person, just that one mate that understood where I'm coming from. We've been really close. Unfortunately, we did fell apart, but life. But in Poland, today is just different because of the politics and the Russia, Germany, all the countries trying to argue. But back in the day, we never had that problem, so we never was concerned about these kind of stuff. People were happier.
Could you tell us about your earliest childhood memory from being in Poland?
No, I really can't get my memories that behind. The best, I think, I really can't remember. There was few, but the earliest one I really can't think of. Like I said, there was just that one person in my life. There was one person in my life. Apart from family, talking about friends, there was just one person. So it was just always us. The friend, like you guys was asking, we've met as we were born because of our parents were closest friends. So his mom was carrying me on her hands, and my mom was carrying him on her hands, and so it kind of like grown up together, being brothers more than friends. That's the always going together through our lives, always being there for each other. But like you guys was asking about the memories, there is just few, like I said, jokes, silly jokes, throwing snowballs in the winter time at people. One woman actually wanted to run for the bus, and because she was running, she got hit in the head, fell over. And these kind of memories, silly jokes. But yeah, there are some things. Protecting each other when he had problems, came to my house crying. There was no questions. I just put my shoes on and I told my mom, I'll be back soon. And as we went outside, that's where we started talking, in between of us. What happened to him, and I had a problem, he helped me as well, always.
So what could you tell us about going to school in Poland?
I was really happy to find out that I'm going to be in a class with my friend. It just took a week when I just hated school. I think it's normal with everyone. What more would you like to know about the particular in school?
What about teachers?
Teachers, there was one really good teacher that I always had like a favourite. But she was ill, not lost, but quit from the job, so the teacher was changed. Apart from that one particular teacher, it was normal as it sounds. Hard, but had help from the teachers because I was a good boy. Instead of talking, I tried to pay attention. That's when they kind of realized, tried to help me out. And when I was being deconcentrated, that's the word, they was putting me back on my seat, paid more attention to me than to other classmates. Been more strict with me, that's the word.
Were there any bad teachers?
One, yes, music teacher particularly. Violent, aggressive. On one of my friends, obviously it was his fault, swearing at the teacher and throwing his hands, trying to say his points. The teacher just couldn't hold it, so throwed him across the half of the room, told him to get the F out the class. Everybody was scared of that teacher. Did wanted to smack me with a belt for wrong answer.
And what about classes that you had at school?
You mean classmates?
Lessons, subjects?
Maths, Polish language, additional English or any other of your choice. I did pick English. Science, these kind of biology subjects, because it's different in Poland. But yeah, altogether it's science, geography, maths, Polish language, religion. I can't remember of anything.
What lesson was your favourite?
Because of the teacher, it was maths. Um, with maths, I never did manage to, at the start, to like it because it was forced to my brain like a cup of water. But as soon as I started getting the numbers, the equations, as soon as I started understanding it, the teacher was helping me a lot. I kind of was not the baddest, but not the greatest in school, in my class. But in time, I actually started liking it until the point came where in here, in England, teacher were giving us equations and I was just doing them. It started being boring and I kind of dropped it.
And what can you tell us about the people that you went to school with, your other classmates?
Um, like I said at the start, I was really happy to have my closest friend with me. The other classmates, the first day was trying to get to know each other. Within a week, as we knew each other, we started to hang out, starting to realise that we live in the same street, road, area. And there are just few times I remember my friend being bullied by two twins, so I stood up for him. I did manage to get them both, and that's where the time of fear happened. People wanted to tell me, protect me because he's bullying me, thinking I'm strong enough, where I never wanted to do anything like that. Backed up my friend because I had to, and it's not like I wanted to.
Okay then, Michael, so what can you tell me about your migration to the UK?
When we found out I was still going to school, still studying, it was the last class, primary school. It was the very last class to move forward. When we found out, I was shocked, happy, but positively surprised that we're gonna go. It was not meant to be permanently. I found out that it was meant to be for a few weeks to 2 months tops. So we went. Didn't finish my Polish in Poland school, but I found out I did got the certificate for finishing the last class. I got happy, so I wouldn't have to do it again. But moved to London first. We did. Um, Shocked, scared, really scared. Lack of language, new people, new life, new world. For the first time, seeing a black person, very amazed. Otherwise, a big city, very nice people, always calm, polite, said hello. It's just that when we started living there, I never paid attention to anything like negative expressions or positive expressions. I knew I just wanted to go through my 2 weeks or 2 months of spending our time there, trying to sort things out. But after a month, we did manage to find out about school, that I will have to attend to school just for a while. I was scared, never wanted to do it, but because my parents needed help, I agreed to it. And then from there, I slowly started to realise it might not be 2 months or 3 months, it might be a bit longer than that. And that's where in time we've started to realise we're going to be here for longer than a year or two.
So could you tell us a bit more about the reasons that your family decided to move here?
Looked for an opportunity to give us better life for us, the kids, because they've went through their life. They wanted to supply us with the good future. My dad went first to see, how can I say it, if you know what I mean, scout the place, the people, work, if he's going to be able to supply us. Came back, told us to bring us, the whole family, to bring to England. And yeah, that's the main case for us. They did it.
And so could you tell us a bit more about your impression of British life when you first got here? What your first impression of Britain was?
I was really scared, like I said, but positively surprised, knowing it's gonna just be a holiday. When we did realize we're gonna stay here permanently, I was terrified. Never knew the English, never knew the people, the culture, nothing like that. I was just a little kid in a big world, not knowing nothing.
And what kind of differences did you notice when you moved here?
Um, a big difference with food, culture. When I started learning the language, I've realized some of the words are being twisted in Polish than in English to make a sense, but it's the same sense to came out to get out of it. But a few words, the beginning is put it in the middle to make the same. Off and these kind of words don't have a meaning in our language, so I kind of never paid attention of learning them. But to speak fully English, like more basic, advanced, and professional, from basic I kind of wanted to move to advanced. But I don't think I'm able to speak English professionally. Lack of words, I think. I'm not sure, maybe. Medical terms, police terms, these kind of phrases English people use. But at the start, like I said, it was scary, but I never realized we're going to be here permanently. So I never did pay attention to any cultures, people. I did realize it's a mixed, very mixed with English, mixed race, black people. So I was kind of surprised. But when I did met a fully originally English person, went to the house, seen the people, his parents, food, stuff like that. I know the English people like beans, bacon, stuff like that. So that's a difference. We have normal mashed potatoes, for example, chicken, I don't know. Traditional soups. I've realized also English people have a turkey, not a chicken. Less of traditional Christmas food than Polish people. Can't think of anything else apart from the food. Culture. English people follow different things. I really don't know.
What can you tell me about going to school in London?
Surprised, scared, and I really thought it's going to be temporary. But there was a Slovakian teacher who was able to speak Polish. I was really shocked. Had a good help. She was preparing me to go to the classes, normal classes with normal teachers. There was one person that was starting the same day as me. Didn't had English, didn't had nothing. He was fresh, brand new, came to England with his family, and pretty much for the same reason as us, to look for a better future. So we kind of got along with our hand movements, being to the same with the same teacher in the same, like not class, but learning. Or I really don't know how to say it. It was just the first room that we went to with no English, with a particular teacher to teach us the basics of English. Hello, hi, pen, pencil, stuff like this. Because she was speaking Polish, I've had a good help. But the person that was, he was from Bangladesh, I remember. Shavon, I remember, as far as I remember. So he sat next to me, started again like in Poland. We started talking and the teacher told us off not to talk, even though we never spoke English. But it was funny, not being able to speak and being told not to talk. What else? That particular teacher that helped me out a lot whenever I needed help. She was doing a translation for me, but forcing me to speak English, if you know what I mean, trying to get the words out of me. Prepared me to go to a normal class, and that's when it started. If I can say it right, that's when everything just started. New friends, new classmates, new life, new school. What can I say more about it? People. There was a Polish person that's been born in Poland, but as a little baby moved out. Luckily, his parents taught him the language, Polish language. So in the classes, he was helping me. Friends forcing me to speak to them, trying to get some words out of me. Even though the only word I was able to tell them, I don't speak English, I'm sorry, stuff like that. And there was one of the people, I can't remember, I think his name was Abdi, came up in the science class, sat down next to me and started whacking the table, talk to me, tell me something, tell me something. You can't tell me, you can't speak English because you speak it. So that was kind of tricky questions he was trying to take out of me, some answers, like yes, no, maybe, I don't know, stuff like this, so I can understand him. And in time, obviously, everybody helped me out with the language. Problems, if you want to know. Misunderstanding in the language when somebody tried to tell me something about my country, about my people. So I said, fine, you say what you want. But when he started going on about my parents, that's when I kind of wanted to talk to him. So he moved to the side. I've asked him a few questions. You can say whatever you want about my country, but don't say a word about my parents. And so he started saying about my parents stink, my parents, all sorts of nasty stuff. And that's when we kind of had a proper fight. I ended up breaking his nose and giving him 3 days off school. But yeah, that was in a self-protection. Winter time, when the snow dropped, the England froze for 24 hours, I've heard in news. That was really cool. We've had off school for 2 weeks. We've been told it's going to be off for a week, but for the next week I've been going to school, finding out the school is shut because the teachers can't get in, or some students. So that was really cool. When people started to get used to the snow and the school was opened, we was doing snowball fights and stuff like that. Just one funny moment I can remember. It was an accident, of course, but I've grabbed a big pile of snow. I realised that there are 2 people behind cars throwing snows at us, me and my friends. I knew I just wanted to swing it at least somewhere close to them or near the car, but it completely went the wrong way. And as it was halfway through me to the person, to the car basically, because there was just a car, and as the snowball was up in the air, or the brick was up in the air, I realised that the person where the snowball was going, the person from there stood up, and that's where he got hit in the head. The snow just spreaded, and when the snow dropped down, no one was there, so everybody ran down to him. His face was red, and so I started saying sorry to him, apologising, and it was an accident. One funny moment. He said he'll never forget it, so yeah, that's a good memory.
What do you remember about classes and lessons and stuff that you had at school in England?
Lessons, the teachers liked me because paid attention. It's pretty much the same in Poland. I was a good boy, so the teachers went strict with me because they didn't want me to be rolling down and hanging around with wrong people or doing wrong stuff. But it's not always working, I think. It's just always have to be that person to drag you down, I think. But yeah, teachers that were helping me out. Some of the students that were trying to trick me up, so I like a test, so I fail it, I don't concentrate, or a equation on the board, they laughing, so I don't know the answer or can't concentrate. Yeah, I think it always happens.
So tell us a bit more about living in London.
Um, Place, like I said, really big, really nice, beautiful. I did like it. Town as well, particularly. Had a trip to London Eye, Big Ben, stuff like that for the first time. Really good, really happy about that. Um, but yeah, we did ended up moving houses a lot from an address to an address. Once, like the school I attended to was in Enfield Lock. We've lived in Waltham Abbey. We've moved to not far from Enfield, then Tottenham, and I think the Tottenham was the very last address at White Hart Lane near the stadium. That was pretty much the last address we've had, but we've had the problems with landlord because people that was helping my parents out, they've had problems. It's really hard to explain because the people we've lived in at the beginning helped us out with getting us the flat in Tottenham, and from there the problems began because my dad was giving them money to pay the rents and they just kept the money to themselves. The money just grown up until we weren't able to pay it off. But we've been explaining ourselves to the landlord. He never listened though. So he was phoning police. We informed the police about our situation. So they calmed us down, told us the landlord's not able to do nothing to us because of the situation we're in. And I can't remember what happened after that, but I think the police took the case forward, but we kind of moved to, or came to Poland for a while, like a holiday. I thought it is a holiday. And then as we were coming back to England, I can say we went past London straight to Birmingham. I never did ask about why is that happening. I could probably guessed it myself, but
When was that, sorry?
we've moved to Birmingham and on 2010, as far as I can remember. I'm not really sure about the months and the days, but it was about 2010 summertime.
And what more can you tell us about moving to Birmingham then?
Like I said, I weren't asking questions. It's just that I've had a girlfriend, so I had to sort out things with her. A relationship on the distance never do work, so we kind of like stayed friends. And a friend of my mum wanted to help us out. That's why we've stayed in their house for 2 weeks before we can get a place. And from there, it was just downhill.
What do you mean by that?
College, I've started studying in college over here. My dad found himself a good job with a passion that he has, accordionist, does fixes and tunes accordions, really good. He's happy about it. College, I've had college, one really good teacher that was really helping me out, and we've covered 2 years of work within a year, so he was really amazed with us, or the class he had, pretty much most of us. But yeah, talking about college, I've met a friend that was swapping me in between of Londonish accents to a Birmingham accent, giving me the proper phrases, how people talk here. So there is a little bit difference how people talk in London and in Birmingham. But yeah, it was really fun. I've taught him Polish, so it was really fun as well. Teacher that was always backing us up. There wasn't a chance where someone else tried to tell us. He was always there protecting us, saying we're good students, and about the 2 years we've covered within a year, within a 1 year of school. Really good. Other teachers did like me, but I never did pay attention. Yet again, we were moving and moving and moving. As soon as we moved here, I kind of wanted to stop already, stop moving and settle down. If we're going to stay here, we might as well stay here, but settle down ourselves. And pretty much that's what happened. We live here now at this address. I've got a lot of friends over here. If it's needed the information, I not long ago got the contacts with one of my ex-girlfriends that was pregnant with my baby. So we kind of getting a contact back. I'm seeing the kid. Uh, what else? Like today, I was meant to talk to him, but too busy. I've seen him twice now, so he's growing. He's 1.5 years now. But coming back and back and back, when I've met the girl, we kind of started going together, falling in love, and she just took the subject about family too quick. That kind of pushed me backwards because I weren't ready. I know what kind of not job, not business. What kind of not experience? Give me the word.
Responsibility?
Responsibility. Thank you very much. I know what kind of a responsibility a small kid is. So I've told her if creating a family, first of all, it's building a house, then talking about the kid, sorting out the life, first of all, house, kid, and then moving forward. But she just rushed it basically, and when I found out she's pregnant, wanted to sort things out in between our families, and is her family and my family started getting involved in our relationship, and we kind of fell apart. But not long ago we did manage to get our contact back, which was very surprising. She's fine with me, I'm fine with her, but the baby's lovely.
What's his name?
His name's Leighton. 1.5 years old now. She's been really looking out for him, really good. I'm really happy with her for what she did, and yeah, I'm really happy. Right now, was scared before, but time's changed. I've grown up and I've got work. Yeah.
So, can you tell us a bit more about what you've done since college?
When I finished college, I kind of prepared myself to a grown-up life. So I was looking for a job. I've worked in a warehouse for the first time, doing picking and packing. But one of the people didn't got to like me because I was slow. On the day where he wanted to get rid of me, I was picking up the speed, but I think it was too late already. So one of the women, team captain, I think it's called, supervisor, one of the supervisors told me today is the last day because one of the people didn't like me and basically told her to get rid of me because he's been working there for an amount of time. So they kind of got rid of me. Second job, I can't remember. I think I've had a month break before the second job. The second job was quite lucky in the I-bar, doing glass collecting. But that work was from a friend. She was working there in the night times, normal work. Doing glass collecting. It's just when she got pregnant, she never was able to carry on working. She asked me if I can do a cover her for a night. Maybe the boss might say something about me or to me to keep me there. So I said, yeah, it's always some money to the pocket money. So first day was quite easy, quiet, and I've tried to work as hard as possible. The boss liked me. He was quite shocked that I'm Polish with a really good English. That was a good communication with anyone Polish that would come to the bar. I can always explain, translate, and that kind of positive thing. And as he was trying to take me back home on that day, he did ask me if I've got a job. I've told him no, and he just said, yeah, you do already. Come phone me, leave me a phone number. And I've worked there for 1.5 years. Quite a long time I did work there, so it was really good. It's just that the woman that for the first day I was covering, she came back, and as the time when she came back, the boss never phoned me back to either come work or not. So that was just like, swap over again. And since there, it was just agencies from an agency to an agency, signing myself up, waiting for phone calls, doing warehouses, bakery I've done. Been in bakery for just 2 days. I really don't know why though. They was meant to phone me back, never did phone me back. So I don't know what happened over there, but quite liked it. The times were weird though, because sometimes we can do 6 hours, sometimes we can do 10, 12 or 14 hours, which, wow, I was just surprised when we did first 13 hours, and some people there was few hours at work already before me, so really hard for them must have been. What else? G-Tech, have you heard of it? Great.
No, I don't think so.
Great technology, it's called. I've done electrical bike assembling. I really loved it as well. A really good experience for life. Doing the bikes, it was new products from China. First of all, we've been checking the car hoovers, these kind of stuff. And from there, because I can work hard, they needed help with bikes. That's when they swapped me to do the bikes, and I really loved it. It's just that my body couldn't do it because the orders were just so big. We had to stay at work over hours, and instead of doing 8, we've been asked to do 12, but even though the 12 hours gone past, we just had to stay there to finish off as many bikes to do. And I just had enough. I asked the place, the boss, calling him, the manager, asked the manager if I can go to the doctors because of my hands shaking and my body refusing to carry on. Just when I've told them about hospital and me feeling bad, they got rid of me quick time. Because it was an agency, obviously, they can get anyone else there. And like I say, since the I bar, I've been jumping from an agency to an agency, from work to work, week there, a month there, and couldn't find myself a normal place to settle down, work-wise.
Can you tell us about the work you do at the moment?
It's called Birmingham Vanarama Centre. No, it's Vanarama. Two companies together, Vanarama and Birmingham Van Centre together. So I actually did find out I work for Birmingham Van Centre, not the Vanarama. So yeah, it's a Birmingham Van Centre. We just taking the boss is buying the vans, sometimes fresh, sometimes not. Our job is to get them to mint condition, and another guy to sell it. That's how the business runs. Just cleaning the vans, polishing, doing the inside, the outside, cabs, wheels, stuff like that.
And so, could you tell us a bit about how you find living here in Erdington?
Really good. Neighbours, everybody talks to each other, everybody knows each other. Erdington, talking about Erdington, it's not really big, so it's a small town, everybody knows each other and everybody's friendly, saying hello, smiling, everything. It's just positive and positive. Couldn't find a better place to live in. That's Erdington. Neighbours, really good as well. But going further, Aston and these kind of places, for example, where my ex-girlfriend, mother of my child, is from, past Aston, I've realised it's a bit more quiet over there. I think it does depend of the area where you live. But I do find Erdington quiet, peaceful and positive energy, if you know what I mean. A lot of positive energy, people smiling and cheering up, and really good.
And how do you find living in Birmingham in comparison to living in London?
There is a big difference. London's more nighttime life, where Birmingham is more daytime. London is more hyper, where Birmingham is more calmer. Since we've moved here, that's when I started realizing what I'm capable of, what I want to do, and sit down, have a think. When I think, start doing what I thought of, and it just started going. Football, for example, dance moves, learned taekwondo for 1.5 years. Well, first I've started off surf training for a year, over a year, and that's when I've met people that were going to trainings, particularly taekwondo saying, so they got me there. Really good. I was happy and I was surprised of what I've got. I never knew that's really a lot. People asking me what belt I am, like what Dan, for example, a level of black belt, which is the highest belt. I was really surprised for a black belt to ask me what Dan I am, for example. I just told him, can you see a belt? He said, no, maybe you don't have it. I said, I don't have no belts. He just said, I'm white, because every time a new person goes in, he's a beginner, which is white. I've told him, just to make a laugh, I've got no belts, no whites or nothing. And that's where he said, I'm really good, really good. Keep it up, keep it up. I was really, really surprised for what people were saying about me and my trainings and my motivation. Put me up as well. Like I say, it's just when we moved here, I started realizing certain things, what I've got, what I've missed out on. And if you know what I mean, it's just calm, peaceful. You can think to yourself, you can add 2 + 2, which will always be 4, and that 4 will give you a way of where to go.
And how about living in the UK now, having lived here for so long, in comparison to living in Poland?
Because I'm 22, we've moved, I was about 10, 11, which is half of my life abroad. How can I say? I did say to people, I'm Polish, fully Polish, but somewhere inside I consider myself 50-50. 50% Polish, 50% English, because of life spent here. I do like it. It's like my second home, if you know what I mean. Do like it. People, culture. Started to find out about, like I said, people, culture, religion, stuff like that. What English people follow, what they eat, what they do. Bank holidays, talking about work-wise and what days they celebrate, stuff like this. Yeah.
Do you still consider Poland to be your home?
Yes, of course. I've been proud, I am proud, and I think I will be proud to be Polish. Fully Polish.
So would you be able to just tell us about the Polish community here in Birmingham?
At the beginning, when we've moved to Birmingham, I didn't had no friends. It was just me, the house, and trying to sort out college. But through my brother, we went for a drinking session, we can call it. That's when I've met a few Polish people. From them, it just spreaded. Their friends became my friends, and it's just a lot. I think there is a lot of Polish people here in Birmingham, especially in Erdington, Polish shops, and it's just a lot. I think then it was really nice, but now I just realized these friends were not really friends. They were just someone in your life that you knew, and people come and people go. But these people were just trying to get me lower than where they are so they can feel higher than where I am. Since then, since I've lost contact with most of those people, I'm pretty much on my own. Family, job, friends, well, English now, English friends. Well, there is actually one friend, Polish person from the very first people that I've met. His name is Martin. He lives in Warsaw, quite far, and he does focuses on his work. That's where the lack of contacts in us comes. But he does come, he does visit, he's always loyal, helpful. Friend, basically a true friend.
So could you just tell us, what do you think it is to be a Brummie?
Oh, that's a good question. Quite funny. Like when we moved here, I've lived my life from London, so I kind of had the accents from there. But since I've met the English person in college, us two helping each other out, he was helping me with English, and I've taught him Polish because he got to the relationship with a Polish person. So he helped me a lot with the language or the way you say things in Birmingham. Like, for example, Birmingham, you right, mate? You right? Stuff like that, for example. I'm Brummy. I'm here from Brummy. Stuff like that. Yeah, found it funny, but what can I think? To be a Brummy. Be a Brummy. Be yourself.
What are your hopes for the future, Michael?
Well, by the end of this year, I really want to sort out my driving license, or at least the provisional license. Start driving, get myself a car. That's a really close future. Going further, sorting out the contacts with their little baby. Maybe my ex-girlfriend, I don't know, but we kind of do talk. We're fine with each other. We're slowly starting to laugh together, so it might be fixable. Who knows? Going further, my parents were thinking to build a house in Poland, but this is years' time. I really don't know. We'll see that. Apart from my little plans, stick to my job, sort out the baby, maybe the contacts with my ex-girlfriend. Apart from that, just live my life, go forward, and maybe go around the world, travel. Make the baby see Poland as well. He's definitely half-half. I'm Polish, she's English, so the kid's 50-50 now. I kind of miss him now, so yeah, I'll take him to Poland one day, definitely. We'll see. Kind of little plan.
Where would you like to travel to?
I've been to Italy once when I was a kid, but quick holiday. Italy, talking about Sicily, the little tiptoe part. I would like to see Spain. I really don't know right now. I can't think of any places, but a country saying Portugal, Spain. I don't know. I know a romantic place would be Paris in France. So this is like a date plan for the future. I don't know, like just for example, just a quick example saying, if me and my ex-girlfriend would be together, or get back together, the baby would be in Poland already, like for a holiday to see the country, and she would see the country, like a plan, for example, to go to Paris and breed another baby. I don't know, that kind of romantic stuff.